welcome to Vlogmas day 4. So yesterday I attempted to make hot chocolate bombs and I kept waiting for them to set and they never fully set. They always felt wet to me. So I left them in the freezer overnight and every time I touch it, it just crumbles, it falls apart, it doesn't hold shape. So maybe I didn't use enough chocolate, maybe it needed to be thicker. I don't know, but it didn't really turn out. Like I got one that was semi decent, but the rest, I'm just gonna put them on the heater and melt them down, and we're gonna figure out something else to do with it because it's just not, it's just not happening. It's not it. But today we're gonna do a makeup look. 'Cause I haven't done a makeup look on this channel in a while, and it is December, so I want to do like a blue, like a really vibrant blue look with like some snowflakes. I know that sounds basic as hell, but that's the mood that I'm in today. I'm gonna be looking at this little mirror for my Blue Moon palette with ColourPop, and I already have my base set, so I'm not, gonna be wasting you guys time. Just do my base. I'm just gonna focus on the eyeshadow and the line work. And while we're getting ready, we're just gonna talk about a couple of things that have been on my mind lately that aren't really enough to make a full video. I'm going to be starting off with the One Size shade Light R concealer. This is the lightest concealer I can get my hands on when I was looking to buy some concealer. They have lighter shades, but this is like the lightest shade that I can get that wasn't sold out at the time of me buying this. And I will be adding this to my Binnable link down below. So the other day, I did a storytime video talking about my run in with this fake model agent scammer guy, and I could not finish the video because I think my phone overheated and it cut off, or I don't know, something happened where the video got cut off. But basically, what I was saying is that the video wasn't necessarily in chronological order. It's not like I told Kay I'm not gonna talk to you again and all that other stuff happened. Like, no, after I cut Kay off, that was after everything had happened. But I was just like kind of running through a series of events that had happened with me and Kay. So if I repeat some things from that video, then I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna try and. But yeah, so basically, one, I can't tell if this happened a time where I just happened to see Kay downtown and we were just walking and talking, or if I had agreed to meet up with Kay for to discuss a shoot or something. But somehow, some way, I was walking and talking with him about things completely unrelated to modeling or whatever the hell. And we stopped at this building, and he asked me to sit down on a bench outside of this building. And then he says, "This is my apartment. This is where I live." And it was like a really big high-rise building, and it didn't necessarily look like an apartment. It looked like a standard corporate building, and I was just so confused because like this doesn't even look like a residential place. What do you mean you live here? He's like, yeah, it's designed to kind of blend in with the other buildings. It's not really meant to look like an apartment because it was originally designed to be a corporate building, but at some point they had modified it to be like a luxury apartment. And he just pointed to a random window and said, "I live there. Like that is my unit. That's where I live." In a conversation, he's like, "Well, wait a minute. I left something. Let me go get something or turn something off, or I don't know." He had to do something, so he was gone for like a minute, and then he came back. He's like, "Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to check something or whatever." The amount of time that he was gone did not correlate with the thing that he said that he was doing or the window that he had pointed to look at to say that that's the place that he lived. Like the math just wasn't mathing. Like he was gone for like a minute. I think that he just ran into the building, stood there for about 20 seconds or so, and then just ran back out. Like I don't think that he actually went anywhere. I don't think that the place that he took me is an actual apartment building. I think that he just wanted to create this illusion to feed into the lie. And then we got to talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I live here. I've been living here for years. If you stick with me, then you can live here too. And like you can afford your own luxury apartment, and you don't have to deal with living with roommates and whatever the hell." And I was just like, sure. sure. Like I just wasn't buying what he was selling. Like he would talk and it just like the math wasn't mathing and like I don't know, it just wasn't necessarily making any sense. I'm actually gonna do a cut crease, so I'm gonna do this the smarter, not harder way. Just tried so hard to make it seem like I needed him more than he needed me. And he was so mad that I was not buying into the illusion of what he was trying to sell. Like it was just weird. And I never had any interaction with a scammer before. I never like I have no idea how scammers interact with people. You know, I knew to look out for creeps. I knew to look out for signs of human traffickers. I knew not to allow anybody to try and force me to go along with anything that I didn't want to do. And that doesn't even have to be anything particularly dark. Like it could be anything, like literally anything. Like it could be I could be like, "Oh, I don't like colorful eyeshadow. I only want to wear black." And somebody be like, "Well, you have to wear pink today." And I'd be like, "No, I'm just going to find something else to do and you could find somebody else to do this." Like it could be literally anything when I say like don't let people try to force you to go and do something that you know you don't want to freaking do. And it could be any little thing because predators don't start out the gate asking you to do crazy shit. They start off with something small and they test your boundaries. They test to see, you know, what you're going to take and then they slowly ramp things up. And, you know, that's why you have, you know, certain interactions with certain people. You know, predators don't like they don't just come out the gate swinging. They start off small and then they work their way up, and that's why it's very important to say no to things you don't want to do, even if it's something little. But yeah, like I found this interaction with him to be very weird. And then the interaction where he introduced me to this guy in a gray suit and a gray fedora, and the way this guy carried himself was just so fucking weird. And I don't know, like he just carried himself like he wanted me to feel like he was a lot more important than he actually was. And Kay was like, "Yeah, this guy's a really big deal in the city. He has a lot of connections. You should really try hard to impress him so you can get more opportunities." And, you know, whatever. I don't know. So I briefly was introduced to this guy. And I don't know. I just thought that interaction was weird. Like, I wasn't in any danger. Nobody tried to physically harm me or anything. But I just knew that interacting with this person, you know, just wasn't going to be a super bright idea. And at some point after this interaction where I met this guy at this apartment, you know, associated with Kay, that's what we're just going to call him. And I got invited to this party out in like where Fulton Market currently is. Like Fulton Market wasn't always Fulton Market in Chicago. Like it was a bunch of abandoned warehouses. It used to be like the meat packing district central. So it's like a lot of butchers, lots of warehouses and stuff going on there. That's where people used to go to get their meat. So once that industry kind of slowed down, it was just like a lot of abandoned buildings and stuff. And a lot of people use those buildings for like really niche artsy stuff. Like they would have they would have photo shoots there. They would have, you know, like fashion events and stuff there. Like it was just a popular area for like I don't know, industry people, whatever. So I went to the party. The people there were weird, and like three girls came up to me mad because I wasn't wearing heels, and then they surrounded me to berate me about not wearing heels. Kay wasn't there, but the guy that he introduced me to, apparently that was like his party event or whatever. And um the guy came and talked to me, but he would just literally be on the shadows. Like the place that I was at, they had lamps from the ceiling, but not like a huge overhead light. And it was just kind of dim, kind of ambient. Hey, so I'm editing and I forgot to mention in this video that after I had left the party early, like I didn't stay for the main event, whatever the main event was, Kay called me like either the day after or like a couple of days after the event to berate me about leaving early. And when he did that, I was just like, I guess I didn't have the response that he wanted me to have, and then it ended up upsetting him even more. And I don't know, like he was yelling at me, he was calling me names, he was saying that it was stupid that I blew the opportunity of a lifetime because I didn't stay for this party and I ended up hanging up on because what the fuck? I don't know you. Why you yelling at me like this? Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I knew, like, after that instance, and that something was wrong, something was off. Like, there's no way that this guy is this mad at me for leaving a party early and not wanting to stay for whatever the main event was. Like, I don't know what was supposed to happen as the main event. I don't know what was supposed to go on, but like, it was just weird that he was mad that I left this party early. Like, it's a party. Parties are supposed to be fun, and that party was not fun for me, so I left. Like, why would I stay at a party and it's not fun? Like, and just sit in the corner and mope just to try and impress somebody that's weird as fuck to me that I don't want anything to do with. Like, there was like literally no logical reason for this. And, not, I don't know. It was weird. So this guy comes up talking to me. He's in the shadows. He's not facing me directly. He's talking to me sideways. Like, he's sitting sideways and he's not completely facing me directly. And I'm trying to have a conversation with him. In mid conversation, he literally fades into the shadows and disappears. And I was just like, oh, what the fuck? That was weird. So there's that. Yeah, like, that was just like one of my interactions with him. So the girl that I was roommates with, she ended up having her own interactions with dude and, coming to the conclusion that he's a scammer herself. And then she was talking to me like, hey, you remember when we first met and like you were assisting that hairstylist to do my hair and everything? Like, we know the same guy, right? Like we both know like the same person who is connecting to us. And just got to talking, and come to find out, she didn't pay for hair because her hair is already long, so he didn't have to like convince her to get a sew in or whatever. But she did get her hair pressed for the so-called shoot, and then she wasn't able to do the shoot either because I don't know, Kay just had all these excuses for it. And then she was actually paying him, like, she was paying him hundreds of dollars, and she never got her money back. And then she was telling me her experience with other models that she knew in the area that had their own experiences with him. And she was like, yeah, the guy in the gray suit, because he always has that same gray suit. Like, yeah, that guy doesn't mess with him anymore. Apparently, they had a falling out. They're not, working together anymore. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting that you said that because, the company that they were working with for like the hair for the sew in, apparently they're not working with him anymore either. Like, what's happening with that guy and why is he like burning all his bridges with everybody in the industry? Because I wasn't fucking with him because he was trying to scam me. She stopped messing with him because he scammed her out of hundreds of dollars and nothing ever happened that he said was supposed to happen. And then the guy in the gray suit, he stopped talking to dude, and I don't know whatever happened to that hairstylist, but I think that they were co-conspirators and were just scamming. Like, they just, I don't know, they just moved really odd, and like, I don't even understand how to describe the interaction with these people. Like, it was odd. So I have white metallic liners from Glamlight and Shade Mist, and that's what I'm gonna use to draw my snowflakes. I'm gonna wait to do my eyeliner just to see how this turns out, and I hope that it turns out well. It is water activated, so I'm not worried about it messing up too bad because it's fixable to a certain extent. So I added a little bit of water to the top, and I'm just mixing this to get it activated because it's water activated. Like, it's dry, like it's a dry hard block, and then you add water to it and mix it together, and until it gets to the consistency that I like. And I just kind of test it on my hand like this just to see like how thick it is. Is it watery? That means I need more pigment. Is it dry? Like, does it have trouble gliding? That means I need more water. So I like to make sure that it has a great consistency before I start drawing with it. So yeah, like, beware of scammers, beware of people. I know that that girl on Yanka is getting a lot of hate, and people are like holding her accountable for being stupid, essentially. But I do kind of agree with her when she said that, you guys giving so much hate towards her is making other victims not want to come forward because they were hurt by the situation too, and it gives more power to the person that's actually responsible for doing harm, because the guy's just gonna see that instead of you guys being mad at him, you're gonna be mad at the victim and blame the victim. So I do kind of agree with her when she said that. And I do feel like there is a certain level of accountability that needs to be had. I don't know why I allowed this man to scam me and like get in my head and stuff. Like, I think that I was just really overwhelmed, and he kind of caught me at a weird time in my life where I don't know, I just didn't have my guards up. And I think that predators know who to prey on, and they know who has this type of vibe, this type of energy where they're searching for validation, or they're searching for friendship, they're searching for a community. And I feel like he sensed that in me, and that's what made him stop me in the first place. And I also feel like when we don't talk about our negative experiences that we have with people like this, it also gives power to the predator, because they know that if you had any friends in your ear telling you what's going on, you would never be in those situations to begin with. So they feel like, well, you don't have any friends, you don't have any family, you don't have anybody that really cares about you, then I can do whatever I want to you and everything will be just fine. Person know who to prey on. They know who is going to be a good person to scam. And they go after certain people who carry themselves in a certain type of way. And that's why one of the reasons why it's important to just walk with confidence and not let anybody stop you for anything. Like if anybody's like, hey, I need directions, hey, what country are you from? Like I'm always just like, no. Like I'm always just kind of standoffish to strangers just because of these type of weird experiences that I've had where I feel like people think that people think that because I wear colorful makeup and at times I may have colorful hair, that I'm just this person that's like super easy to approach and that I'm going to be open to whatever thing that they have to try and sell to me. And it's just not really true. And I'm constantly having to be in situations where I have to debunk those. Um, why am I having such a hard time? Oh my god, I'm having like such a hard time getting this straight. Uh, I feel like because I'm an alternative person, and most people don't register black people as being alternative. They just think that you're a weirdo, and they can't place their finger on why they think you're weird. They just feel like there's no way that you have any friends or family if you're walking around looking like that. And that's not true. Yeah, like you just gotta be careful about how you carry yourself and what your intentions are in life and not let people play with you. Because if you let them shenan once, they will shenan again. And that's, my lesson to learn from that is just, you gotta be self assured and not let anybody knock you off of your game and not let people distract you from your path, because if they know they can, then they will. Like if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Like people like this, they know no bounds, and they don't really care about boundaries or anything. So you just really got to be careful about how you carry yourself, and you got to be careful about the type of people that approach you and what you respond to it. And like sometimes I feel bad because sometimes people approach me and I can tell that they have good intentions, but because of experiences like this, I'm very standoffish I'm very like absolutely no. Like I don't really stop for people on the street. If somebody's like, "Oh, like, hey, can you tell me where such and such is?" I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you have Google Maps? Yeah, Google Maps." Or I'm gonna point to some random person like, "Oh yeah, sure, ask that guy over there." Because you should have been asking a man and not asking me in the first place. Because I don't believe that there is a such thing as a strange man in distress. If a man truly needs help with something, like he'll ask another man, he won't be asking me. So that's, how I feel about a lot of people who approach me. I just don't want to get scammed. I don't want to put myself in danger. I don't want people to feel too comfortable around me because this is the type of shit that happens when you let people feel too comfortable in your space. You know, they feel like they can get away with saying and doing any damn thing. And if you don't have your guards up, if you don't have boundaries, then they're just gonna keep coming in and it's not gonna end well for you. Like, because I was able to get the hair from the company, Kay did not scam me out of money. And because I refused to pay him money for his so called services, I'm lucky that I didn't get scammed of hundreds or even thousands of dollars like many other people did. And, and it really helps when businesses that he was associated with also cut him off and warn other people, like, hey, we no longer have anything to do with this person. If you continue to have contact with him, then, that's on you. But I'm just here to let you know that we don't have anything to do with him. So enter at your own risk. And I feel like that's so validating for my experience and not, and I wanted to feel like an idiot for coming forward with this guy that freaking scammed me. So I don't have a crazy story like Anyanka because I don't even have $30,000 to give to a man. And if a man owed me $30,000, there's no way that I would introduce him to my friends and family. Like, no. Like, Kay does not know anybody in my personal life. Like, Kay doesn't know my sister. He don't know my cousins, my auntie, or anybody. Like, he don't know anybody that I know through me. Now, if he meets those people on his own, then, that's between them. But I would never introduce Kay to anybody that I knew in real life. Kay never knew where I lived at. Kay knew my phone number and my email, and that was like it. Like I didn't give Kay access to people in my life, and I felt like there were times where he was trying to push me to introduce him to my friends and such, and I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And there were times where I felt like Kay was like trying to get me to introduce him to other models and introduce him to photographers and makeup artists and stuff that I knew, and I would always say no. And like he would get mad, but I don't care. Like the answer is no. When you meet people who are sketchy, you meet people who are scammers and they try to invade other areas of your life, don't introduce them to your friends and family. Like what the hell is going on? I don't even know. But yeah. I'm curious to know, have you guys ever had any encounters with a scammer, regardless of if you got scammed or not? Like, do you personally know somebody who's been in a situation like this before? Because I feel like it's such a specific, unique experience. But as more people start to talk, you realize that it's actually a relatively normal experience to have. And I feel like we need to speak up more so that more people are aware of what to even look for. What are the red flags? What are some things that we can do to avoid being in a situation? Not to victim blame or shame, but to say, hey, these are the red flags that you should look out for when it comes to having, certain encounters with people. Like for me, I should have had my guard up and not been talking to that man in the first place, but I just wasn't in the right headspace or whatever. So I just need to focus more on my own self care and my own self awareness and my own self validation and my own self like concern and like just being really sure about who I am and who I want to be and being intentional with the people that I surround myself with and not just do things for the plot. I feel like I kind of outgrew a lot of the do things for the plot era in my early 20s. Like it went as fast as it came, and I just eventually learned that life gets so much easier when you stop doing things for the plot. Life gets so much more peaceful when you stop doing things for the plot. And you stop being a source of entertainment for people around you because you no longer have all these crazy horror stories to share, but your life gets so much more peaceful and you can be more intentional with the people that you surround yourself with. So I'm curious to know if you guys had any experiences similar to this and share your thoughts below. I'm gonna finish my eyeliner and my base and everything, and I will be right back. I promise I'm not gatekeeping eyeliner from you guys. I just cannot do my eyeliner and talk and have it be straight. So I had to go ahead and do that off camera. So another conversation I've been seeing happening on the internet is the Gen Z black alternative people feel like they're being invalidated by their white counterparts on TikTok.
I made a video talking about how like I don't get perceived as alternative by white people, and my point got fucking proven. Because here came a bunch of people in the comments being like, oh, it's because you wear gold, it's because you don't wear enough makeup. But I'm like, literally last week, y'all made up a term called naturally alt, in which you signed a bunch of features, a bunch of natural features to being alternative. And y'all categorized it down to, oh, hair and piercings. If you have hair and piercings, it doesn't matter what you wear, you'll look alternative. And I'm confused as fuck because I have the alternative hair, I have the piercings. The difference is it's on afro textured hair and I don't care to make my hair look like a white person's. This is an alternative haircut. Y'all just aren't used to seeing it on somebody who's not trying to hide their blackness. And as for the gold jewelry, I am brown. Silver washes me the fuck out, and I'm not gonna walk around looking washed out in silver because it's more alternative. I dress for my features. If me dressing for my features suddenly removes any ounce of alternativeness from my character, then you need to reconsider what you view as alternative. Because by black and brown people, I am very obviously punk rock. With or without heavy makeup, with or without heavy, dressing / aesthetic. So I don't understand why that same shit doesn't apply for y'all.
A lot. I've seen a few posts where people are saying that they are being called a Shein goth, a goth from Timu. People just like accusing them of being posers and like not real, or like how they feel like their appearance isn't being recognized as alternative by other alternative people, even though they have the hair, the makeup, the clothing, and everything. Whereas if the exact same fit was on a white person, then it would be yes, goth queen, slay type of vibes. And I'm looking at these people and I'm like, there's just no way that somebody said that to you and was like trying to be real. And I'm like, I feel like this is one of those things where TikTok isn't a real place, because I'm not gonna say that because of my personal experience, this thing doesn't happen to other people in real life, but I'm just saying that the only time I get invalidated as an alternative person for my appearance not being alt, it's from people who aren't even alternative. It's from the internet, which, is not and has never been and never will be a real place. And it's from people who are really young, who have never even gone out to a goth or alternative club or anything. It's coming from people who are comparing you to their favorite porn star. It's coming from people who live in a tiny little small town where they don't even have clubs, bars, concerts, raves, parties, or anything. So it's like, what are we even talking about? I feel like you guys really got to consider the source when people try to invalidate your existence and when people try to invalidate your experience. Like, most of those people do not go outside, and a lot of those accounts are bots. Like, they're not real people. So I think that's something that everybody has to take into consideration when you're dealing with a lot of online hate, because you know like, it's just not a real thing that people in real life do on the regular basis, and it's not like a super common thing. Like, alternative people in real life are nice. Alternative people in real life are kind. And I'm not saying that that's like everybody. I'm just saying, like, as a general consensus of most of the people that I've had the pleasure of interacting with, like, that's not a normal thing for people to do in real life. It's more so a thing that I tend to only see on the internet. And it sucks that this is happening towards younger generations, but I think that you got to consider the source when people give you criticism. You got to evaluate whether or not that criticism is valid. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not valid. It's not coming from real people. It's not coming from a real place. It's not coming from people who actually have experience of being around other alternative people in real life. It's mostly like internet bots and stuff, and like people who just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I think that you guys just need to find community with alternative people in real life and not just TikTok, because TikTok is just not a real place. And that doesn't, like, I'm not trying to sound like I'm invalidating other people's experiences, saying that, oh, because I don't experience certain things, that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that when people give you criticism, you got to consider the source before you get offended by it. And, you know, like, I'm not offended by people on the internet telling me that I'm not a real goth because I don't fit into whatever stereotypes they have about being goth. Like, some people will tell me that I'm not a real goth because I'm wearing colorful eyeshadow. Some people tell me that I'm not a real goth because I wear colorful hair sometimes. Some people will tell me that I'm not a real goth because I wear fake freckles sometimes. People will say, oh, goths don't wear fake freckles. That's such a basic bitch thing, whatever the hell. Some people will tell me, oh, goth, they don't wear blush. They like to look dead. They don't want to wear blush. Some people tell me that I'm not a real goth because I don't have a stereotypical goth job or whatever. Like, I'm not a tattoo artist. I'm not a piercer. I'm not, somebody that's in these stereotypical goth job roles, not knowing that most goth people are adults with regular jobs. They're doctors, nurses, lawyers, scientists, engineers, bus drivers, and like all these professions that you would never consider to be goth. Like, there's a lot of goth nurses out there, y'all. There's a lot of goth phlebotomists, a lot of goth CNAs, a lot of goth people just in roles that you would never expect them to be in, because that's not the image that's represented in the media, and that's not something that's sexualized, and it's not something that is representative of something that's popular. Like, one of the biggest goth fashion expos is Abby from NCIS, and she was a forensic scientist. Like, so I'm just not understanding. I think that you guys need to interact with people in real life and touch grass if you're out here telling people, oh, you're not a real goth because you don't fit into my stereotypes of what goth is, even though I don't identify as goth myself. Like, I don't know. It's just like the math just isn't mathing for me, and I'm really trying hard to make sense of it, and it's just not making any sense to me. And I don't know. I just like want you guys to do better. Like, it's just weird. I don't know what else to say other than that's just such a weird thing to me, and I hope you guys do better and realize that TikTok goth community is just not a representation of what the goth community is. It's a very small portion of the internet, even though it seems really huge. And I don't know, like, go outside and touch grass if you're on the internet. Cyberbullying people, especially because like some of the people I've seen, they're under the age of 25, and some of the accounts, they seem to be from people that are way older, and it's like, you don't have anything else better to do than to try and bully somebody that is like 20 years younger than you. And that's why I say, like, it's just not a real fucking place. It's not real. So that's my whole thing, and that's my whole take on it. Also, that trend where the white cops were doing the whole naturally alternative thing is just racist as hell, and it's like a very specific type of racism that's like Nazi-ish. Like, I don't know, like eugenics type. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, there is no such thing as a naturally alt looking person. All of the features that you guys attribute to looking naturally alt are literally like the ideal person according to white supremacist vibes and that man with the mustache. The guy with the micro bang mustache. The he who shall not be named. But you guys know who I'm talking about. Like, the guy with the micro bang mustache is literally what you guys sound like when you say certain things, and I don't know. Right, so I'm done with my makeup. I did draw some of my snowflakes, but I decided to use some of these. I got these on Amazon maybe like a year or two ago. I think I want to get some that are like smaller snowflakes that I can actually fit on my face a little easier, like this one. But when it comes to the bigger ones, like I can always do like partial ones on my face in order to fit the vibe and everything. This was a fun look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Okay, so this is what keeps happening. Honestly, I just took this and kind of balled this up. But yeah, like this was in the freezer overnight, and every time I try to like unmold it, it just kind of folds into itself, and it still looks wet. Like it's kind of gooey, and it sucks because I already added like my marshmallow and everything to it. Like this little spider web thing right here is like solid-ish. It didn't foam all the way, but like at least it popped out all the way like it should have. But this right here, like, you know, like I try and stretch it to loosen it up before, and it just like folds in on itself and turns into a giant blob. Like, I don't know, maybe this chocolate needed to be thicker or something, but like the hot chocolate bars just don't turn solid. Like it's still wet even though I just got this out of the freezer. Like, I don't know. This is so ugly. What the heck? I wanted to do something cute, but like, this is the aftermath of the chocolate pumps I tried to do yesterday, and it's just like, I don't know, kids. Don't try this at home, I guess. Like, maybe I should try like actual chocolate chips, and that seems to take the better shape than the hot chocolate from like the hot chocolate bars. I don't know, like it's a different type of chocolate, I guess, and it's just not working out. So I'm gonna boil some eggnog, not eggnog, the holiday nog, and I'm just gonna take this blob and put it in there and watch it melt. This one is like the only one that turned out semi cute. It's like the cat faced one. So this is how it looks. There's like marshmallows and stuff in it. And then the back like completely crumbled apart. So now that I've boiled this, I'm just gonna like pour this in here. So this is how things look. Oh my gosh. And then drop it in here. And like here's the rest of the parts. And then we're just going to stir it until it turns into hot chocolate. It's getting browner as I stir. Like so, this is how it looks. I'm gonna add one of these little spiders to the mix. See, these molds turned out perfect compared to the big ones. So maybe I just need like solid chocolate chip, and then we're just gonna put that in there and let it melt. All right, so I got my coconut whipped cream. I'm gonna add that to the top. And then I got my chocolate sprinkles, which I'm just gonna like open it because, yeah. All right. There's already marshmallows in there, so it's looking super rich and chocolatey. So yay. A success, I guess. Just gonna grab it by the ears. And like that's how it looks today. So my flashlight and mic died, but this is how it looks. And I just want to do a taste test for you guys. It's very rich and it's very chocolatey. Like I definitely taste a hot chocolate bomb. I taste the like chocolate chip added to like the richness of it and like the chocolate sprinkles. The marshmallows and the whipped cream definitely add a bit of extra creaminess to it. Next time I do this, I'm not gonna use the hot chocolate bombs. I'm not gonna use the hot chocolate bars. I'm just gonna use actual chocolate chips because the chocolate chips actually melt versus this, like it never got solid and it's like a hot crumbly mess that I'm like scared to push out all the way. So I don't know, if you want to make your own hot chocolate bombs at home, then like use actual chocolate chips and not the hot chocolate bars because it's never going to harden, and even if you leave it in the freezer overnight, it's just like never gonna get solid. So I don't know, this was fun. Word of advice, do better, look up a tutorial or something and like not do this because this was not a good idea. And I have no idea what to do with all this messed up chocolate, especially since I've already added like marshmallows and stuff to this in preparation for making the little bombs. And I don't know, I just feel like I wasted a lot of food, but it was, you know, lessons were learned. Also, I forgot which ones are the spicy kind and which ones are just either Ibarra. So this is a giant game of Russian roulette.